Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Looking at the daily time frame of the ES, in the previous session we had a very high range day here, over 125%. It was 170% of average range here. One thing I mentioned to our room is every time you get something that's a very high ADR compared to its average, 170, over 200, especially the YM was over 200% of average daily range. That usually indicates that a period of higher volatility is coming over the next 1 to 2 weeks. For example, when you see something like this here with a huge high range day that was over 200% of ADR, it fundamentally changed what the volatility was over the next several days. So to have a high range day like this here could suggest that we will have more high range days over the coming days. Now, one thing we do want to keep in mind here is we did get our return back down and got very close to that blue dot. So that blue dot is still down there. That's the previous month's close. That's kind of the break-even point for the month, and we could still see a move into that level. We have a break that has occurred through recent lows here and through the 3400 level. We're now back up to that zone, so this could be a pullback before perhaps more selling pressure occurs. Really, price would need to get back above, again, 3460 or 3470 in order to really get going to the upside, and that's where it failed before it dropped. So right now, clearly a downward trending path right now, a pullback that could lead to more weakness into the previous month's close below. If we take a look at the NQ, we have already reached the previous month's close in the previous session. We got it perfectly right there. We got the breakdown that occurred right through multiple day lows, and we got the push into that level. Again, another high range day, 170% of ADR, which means we could see additional high range days ahead. We are sitting right at the middle of the previous session's range right now, but still just shy of 11,600. Again, if price can't get beyond 11,600, we may start to see another rotation back down. Unless price can start finding some acceptance above 11.7 or 11.800 especially. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Now, crude oil saw a significant sell-off in the previous session. This is a couple of days in a row. This all started with the failed high up here. Price was not able to get through that 41.50 level, and instead a significant rejection occurred, which led to a turnaround. Back to our target of 39.02, and now again we got to see, are we going to get a higher low here and kind of turn back around inside the range. 40 has been a very sticky level. Every time it gets too far away from it, it snaps back to 40, snaps back to 40, back to 40, back to 40. So we could see a little bit more weakness here before we snap back to 40. Where's that bounce going to occur? Right now, still inside the wider range here, and we could have a little bit more weakness here, even as far as 37, 36.50. But again, right now, clearly very bearish at the moment with lower highs, lower lows, and now retesting the midpoint from the previous session and seeing initial selling pressure that could lead to more weakness ahead. Lastly, looking at gold futures here, this one has been a flat line. Continues to chop around the 1905, 1908 level. It continues to be very, very narrow inside its range, so there's really no trading range action at all. It's just really just flat. And this is with 1 week to go ahead of the U.S. election here in the United States. So again, very, very quiet action. With only a few days left to go, 4 full trading days, we have an inside value relationship and a super narrow pivot range forecasted for the upcoming month. So again, building the energy right now for a major move, but don't get caught in the chop inside ahead of the breakout. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.